Hi all, it's Eddie from Weird Tropicals coming to you on an extremely sunny day today. Been filming a couple of videos, just did one about the pond, and while I'm cleaning out the greenhouse I found a little bit of inspiration. Things that I guess I asked all the time, like how I get things to grow as quickly as I do and as healthy and as lush as I do. And that's because at this time of year I start treating the garden, giving worms time to drag things down before the planting starts in a couple of weeks. And what I use is, let me flip the camera around and I'll show you. What I use here is it's chicken manure pellets. The brand on this particular one that we're looking at now is called 6X. It's good for three things: slow release, one feed lasts all season, it enriches the soil with organic nutrients, and it helps grow more flowers, fruit and veg, according to the claims on the bag. I have had this particular bag now, I think this is the third year that I've had this, and when I use it like handful after handful, making sure it goes everywhere. I'll give you an example now. It's difficult holding the camera with one hand, trying to keep that in focus whilst lobbing chicken poop everywhere, but there's no real kind of like right or wrong with this. What I tend to do though is, because a lot of the plant's roots are not directly where the base is, so for example, the Tetrapanax, the roots on that go quite long and quite far away from the base. So I'm trying to spread that through the entire border. So when it rains, it will drag that through and it will get fed wherever the roots are, not just solely at the base and trying to keep the roots exactly where they are. I want the roots in these plants to get out. The good thing is when we throw this on there now, things like this bamboo that are like really like kind of heavy feeders, and things like the Tetrapanax I've mentioned, the palm tree to get it nice and glossy, and like the bananas over in the corner. I'll probably give these a couple of feeds, but like I said, I want the roots to run out on this. I don't want the roots to stay exactly where the plant is. So once we've thrown this all down now on a nice day, the aim is in a couple of days, I would imagine, we'll have some rain. If not, I'll kind of throw the sprinkler on in a minute anyway. But the rain will start the decomposition of this. The worms then will start pulling all of this through. For the things that are like really heavy feeders, like I've just mentioned, like the T-Rex bamboo and all that kind of stuff, I'll throw some liquid seaweed in there. Maybe not for the bamboo, because you have to be careful with those because it contains salt and they don't like that. But for a lot of the heavy feeders, I'll throw in liquid seaweed as well in a month's time, and I'll use that throughout the season. Things like the dahlias, that once they become in flower, or like the cannas when they go into flower, I swap to a tomato-based feed. I use Tomarite, but again, the brand really is irrelevant. It's a really low cost. I will put it on the screen, but for 3 years to one purchase, you can't really go wrong. I'm going to run now through all of the beds with this, drag this bag around and throw it through everywhere. I've got a new area that I'm just about to extend the border on over there, and I'm going to throw that on now before I start putting the topsoil and stuff on to build that area up and let that nutrition get down. So when I'm digging it out, it's through the whole lot. Things like the Gunnera, I'm going to throw more in through the season anyway. And I find this is like, because it's an organic way of doing it, it's better than throwing in loads of chemicals. And I've bought them in the past. It's like blue granules and you put it in and you're throwing it all over the garden. It just doesn't look as good. The one thing to be mindful is, as I'll show you there, what it looks like is when it's actually on the ground. It's like some of it goes into powder and it will go on the leaves. I have had certain plants, I believe it's being burnt from me throwing this on them in previous years. So what I do with these is I will go and wash these off. I'll set up my sprinkler in a moment and hose off the worst of it, because I just dash it everywhere. There's no exact science with this. If you're a bit more careful, then you'll be fine. Here's probably one of the best purchases I've ever done from Karcher. This sprinkler is an absolute game changer. I like the fact that it kind of rains down on the plants, so it kind of mimics a bit more like rain. I've had some that kind of shoot from the base and they're a bit more violent than this. The good thing is as well, if you open it right up, I can almost do the entire garden. I've restricted that because I'm still working out here today. But absolute cracking bargain. I'm going to leave that on there now just to wash through for about 20 minutes. Get it all soaking wet and just make sure that that's not on the leaves anymore. And as I always say in these videos, not even just to cover my derriere, it's just because I've done something for a long time doesn't necessarily mean that that's the correct way. It's just the only way that I know. I know people, for example, like Monty Don, whose garden's significantly bigger than mine, uses a thing called comfrey, a plant called comfrey. He grows that, chops it down, puts it in water, and he makes a tea from that, and he soshes that all over his garden. Again, obviously bigger space, he's got more room to use that. People that have got issues with like nettles, stinging nettles, you can do the same thing with those. This is just what's worked for me, kind of over the years. But I'm always keen to learn from other people. So if you've got other methods, feel free to put those in the comments. I'm absolutely happy to give those a try as well. Again, thanks for if you've stayed to the end. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to pop a like on the video. And like I say, feel free to comment with any top tips that you've got as well. Thanks for watching.